Gasoline gallon equivalent or gasoline equivalent gallon is the amount of alternative fuel it takes to equal the energy content of 1 liquid gallon of gasoline. GGE allows consumers to compare the energy content of competing fuels against a commonly known fuel gasoline. GGE also compares gasoline to fuels sold as a gas and electricity. In 1994, the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology or NIST defined gasoline gallon equivalent means 5.660 pounds of natural gas. Compressed natural gas, for example, is a gas rather than a liquid. It can be measured by its volume in standard cubic feet, by its weight in pounds or by its energy content in joules or British thermal units or kilowatt-hours. It is difficult to compare the cost of gasoline with other fuels if they are sold in different units. GGE solves this. 1 GGE of CNG and 1 GGE of electricity have exactly the same energy content as 1 gallon of gasoline. CNG sold at filling stations is priced in dollars per GGE. Using GGE to compare fuels for use in an internal combustion engine is only the first part of the equation whose bottom line is useful work. In the context of GGE, a real-world kind of useful work is miles per gallon as advertised by motor vehicle manufacturers. Substituting one fuel for another in a given engine may start and may do useful work. However, getting optimum efficiency from each fuel-engine combination requires adjusting the mix of air and fuel. This can be a manual adjustment using tools and test instruments or done automatically in a multi-fuel vehicle. Fine-tuning of the optimum fuel-air mix may be facilitated by using a supercharger or turbocharger. In battery electric vehicles, calculating efficiency of useful work begins with the charge-discharge rate of the battery pack, generally 80% to 90%. Next is the conversion of potential energy of the charge to distance traveled under power. See table below translating retail electricity costs for a GGE in British thermal unit. GGE, gasoline gallon equivalent tables, rates per kilowatt-hour for residential electricity in the USA range from $0.0728 to $0.166 and $0.2783. Compressed natural gas, 1 GGE of natural gas is 126.67 cubic feet at standard conditions. This volume of natural gas has the same energy content as 1 US gallon of gasoline. 1 GGE of CNG pressurized at 2400 SI 0.77 cubic foot. This volume of CNG at 2400 SI has the same energy content as 1 US gallon of gasoline as 0.51 cubic foot. The National Conference of Weights and Measurements has developed a standard unit of measurement for compressed natural gas, defined in the NIST Handbook 44 Appendix D as follows: 1 gasoline, US gallon equivalent means 2.567 kilograms of natural gas. When consumers refuel their CNG vehicles in the USA, the CNG is usually measured and sold in GGE units. This is fairly helpful as a comparison to gallons of gasoline. Ethanol and fuels like E85, 1.5 gallons of ethanol has the same energy content as 1.0 gallon of gasoline. The energy content of 1.0 US gallon of ethanol is 76,100 British thermal units, compared to 114,100 British thermal units for gasoline. A flex-fuel vehicle will experience 72% of the fuel mileage MPGe when using E85 products as compared to 100% gasoline. Simple calculations of the British thermal unit values of the ethanol and the gasoline indicate the reduced heat values available to the internal combustion engine. Pure ethanol provides 2/3 of the heat value available in pure gasoline. Efficiency, a concept closely related to the British thermal unit or kilowatt-hour potential of a given fuel, is engine efficiency, often called thermal efficiency in the case of internal combustion engines. Generally speaking, an electrical motor is more efficient than an internal combustion engine at converting potential energy into work, turning the wheels that may move a car down the road. A diesel cycle engine can be as much as 40% to 50% efficient at converting fuel into work, where a typical automotive gasoline engine's efficiency is about 25% to 30%. The efficiency of converting a unit of fuel to rotation of the driving wheels includes many points of friction loss and heat loss through the exhaust or cooling system. Friction inside the engine happens along the cylinder walls, crankshaft rod bearings and main bearings, camshaft bearings, drive chains or gears, plus other miscellaneous and minor bearing surfaces. Friction outside the engine includes loads from the generator/alternator, power steering pump, AC compressor, transmission, transfer case, differential, and universal joints, plus rolling resistance of the pneumatic tires. The MPGe of a given vehicle starts with the thermal efficiency of the fuel and engine, less all of the above elements of friction. Miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent. For a complete description of MPGe, see the main article, Miles per gallon gasoline equivalent. The MPGe metric was introduced in November 2010 by EPA in the Monroney label of the Nissan Leaf electric car and the Chevrolet Volt plug-in hybrid. The ratings are based on EPA's formula, in which 33.7 kilowatt-hours of electricity is equivalent to 1 gallon of gasoline, and the energy consumption of each vehicle during EPA's 5 standard drive cycle tests simulating varying driving conditions. All new cars and light-duty trucks sold in the U.S. are required to have this label showing the EPA's estimate of fuel economy of the vehicle. See also, miles per gallon of gasoline equivalent, engine efficiency, thermal efficiency, potential energy, work, thermodynamics, work, physics, diesel cycle engines, efficiency, friction, references.